Citizen Television.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev Kev, your host. This is for December 4th, 2020 through the 10th, and perhaps even more. Through the 10th. And we'll just do another one next week. So we're in this place right now where we're in between two eclipses. This is the last week that you'll look at Venus, and it'll be in the constellation of Libra in the sky as you're looking at Venus. And so it's the last week of that. And so Venus is in Scorpio in the tropical zodiac, but it's in Libra in the sidereal zodiac. So that's the last week of that. And that's like been, own sign. So there's been kind of a more relaxed, chill, hey, let's be positive and get along. Alright, and then we had that eclipse on the 30th, and that stirred up some stuff, but it was lunar, so it doesn't last as long. Moon eclipses aren't as big a deal as this one that's going to come up on the 14th of December, and I'll be talking about that one more next week. But for right now, looking at the sky, I would find the moon in a lunar mansion known as Pushama. Okay, so Pushama is considered one of the most benefic lunar mansions or nakshatras. Pushama is ruling planet is Saturn, but its ruling deity is Brisapati, which is actually Lord Jupiter. And if you have Jupiter in this part of the sky, it's in full-on exaltation. And what they say about Pushama is one of its symbols is the udders of a cow. Another one could be like the head of an arrow. But I really like the udders of the cow because it expresses this quality of nurturing and giving, how a cow is giving more of its milk than it can feed its own calf to humans and have helped humans for millenniums to survive. And so Pushama helps us survive, and it's said to enhance any benefic planet, if it doesn't matter what it is, if it's in this particular nakshatra, which is, in Western astrology, it's very early, late Cancer, early Leo. It's kind of like in that place. And so today, with that moon and the udders of calf and this nurturing quality, they say even malefic planets like Mars or Saturn or the nodes of the moon, they tend to be softened, and they don't seem as malefic in Pushama. So it's very cool. It's good news. So with that said, and we're on a waning moon, kind of this winding down moon cycle. And so we'll just go right ahead. Greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. So, looking at what we've got here, it's like Mars is in the first house. So you're still feeling very independent, very in control of your situation. Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, very close. Your career potential is very high right now. that you could do very well. Your love life's in this kind of deepening place. Your luck is good with the Sun and Mercury. Well, I don't know if Mercury's quite there yet. Yeah, Mercury moves in, has moved into Sagittarius. So Sun and Mercury are in your 9th house, so that's a good thing. And Uranus in the 2nd, some of your personal assets might be kind of unpredictable, but let's get the Moon in the right place, for goodness sake. And yeah, you're going to have fun this weekend. That's how it looks for Aries. Wouldn't you like to be an Aries right now? Let's go. Let's see. Okay, greetings Taurus, welcome to your horoscope. So Sun's in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is your 8th house. What is the 8th house? 8th house is death, other people's property. It's also sex. It's a study of the occult, things like astrology, the tarot, or even something like maybe even Dr. Emoto's book on water and the power of water. Highly recommend that reading, especially for people that doubt the power of words and intentions. It pretty much says there's like a science behind prayer and meditation, and it's worth checking out. I think it'll make you happier because there's better possibilities that are seen in that book. And it's all about transformation, the 8th house. You know, sex, death, other people's property, sometimes birth. It's things that are out of your control, and unjust rewards like inheritance. That's not really a just reward. Just because you have parents doesn't mean you deserve all that money. But it's important, you know. It gives them peace of mind. The good ancestors want us to do well, and they want us to make the right choices. So, I mean, this is also a time, Taurus, where you're likely to put yourself in debt sometimes, too. That's another thing about the 8th house. And if you get ill, sometimes it can be very, like, gravely ill. And so you got to, you know, keep your health up, too, during this transit. That's my main thing for you. I mean, Venus is in your 7th house still this week, so, I mean, the love vibe should be good. Yeah. And I'll leave you with that. Alright. Okay, so greetings Gemini, welcome to your horoscope. Sagittarius is your partnership sign. Sagittarius rules your 7th house. So in a way, if you're in a relationship, you have more focus on your mate. Now since the 7th house is 10 houses from the 10th house, there's also a career implication with Sagittarius. Now you don't see this with other signs so much, but yeah, there's an implication that there's some kind of career activity going on with you. And I mean, this year you've kind of entered into accepting your own weirdness. I'd say with Rahu in the 1st house, it makes you kind of like the foreigner in your own business, your own land, even if you're there. And relationship-wise, I mean, you really want to know someone that's a little more spiritual and magic-oriented right now in order to facilitate what you want to facilitate. So Mercury moving into the 7th house, too, it's like you're a better negotiator. You're a good sweet talker. You're making things happen on that scale. Now, all those Capricorn planets, you know, I mean, I didn't talk about them much in the other sign, but for you, since they're in the 8th house, you know, yes, you too have to worry. No, don't worry. Don't worry, be happy. Didn't somebody sing that? You know, some things are out of your control. And when that happens, you got to just practice self-compassion and relaxing and getting in there good. And we're going to talk cancer talk right now. No, not the disease. Moon children, yes. So greetings Cancer, as in the Tropic of Cancer. Because this version of astrology, this is tropical astrology, is based on seasons. It's not based on constellations, and it's the most popular astrology in the West, which I mean like Europe and the Americas. The Americas. Oh boy. So here's what's happening with you. I mean, this could be a weekend, like especially if you're working retail or doing a little craft fair or something. You're going to make some money. I mean, that's what I sense with the moon in your second house. So it's good to know that that's being taken care of. What's the deal with Sagittarius in you? Well, I mean, Sagittarius is like health, public service. It's a sign for you because it's occupying the sixth house. You see, the thing is that none of us are really Cancers, none of us are really Sagittarius, none of us are really Geminis or anything. We're all everything, okay? Because every single sign in the zodiac is present at the moment you're born, and so they're all influencing you. That's like super important to know that. And so don't take anything personal. Well, yeah, getting back to your horoscope. I mean, it's definitely like watch your health right now. Now, partnership issues, I mean, they've been a theme for you this year. And so it's been a make it or break it year in your relationships. And that's kind of easy to see. All right. Now, here we are. Going to the sign of Leo. Moving ahead with Leo. All right. So, the moon's in your sign for today, a good portion, most of all of tomorrow. So, this weekend was meant for Leo. You know, the MGM lion is roaring. Yeah, no, I won't ruin your day and talk about how most of you are sidereal Cancers. Let's see. Well, what we've got is, you know, moon is in your first house. I think that's important to look at that right there. It's like, okay, so like the mood is up. Sagittarius, it rules your fifth house. This is pretty happy. This is really heart opening. This is the kind of stuff you like. And Mercury's just moved into your fifth house too. So you're telling some pretty good stories. You still have like health issues you've got to watch for, you've got to deal with. Even Neptune in the 8th. It's like having spiritual priorities, you know. What's your view of life after death? Or you think you just go away and that's it. I mean, even a leaf that dies leaves compost. You know, you have to think about these things. Are you afraid of having some invisible support? Now we're getting there. Now we're talking about things. And not everything that exists is visible to the naked eye or to anything. We can make it so. I mean, mostly you're having good fortune. There's just a little bit of strange adjustments you have to make in relationships and other things. Okay. That's enough of that. All right. Greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. So we're starting out with Moon and Leo this weekend. But come Sunday, yes indeed, good old Sunday at 11:46 a.m. in the morning, the moon's going to go into Virgo. So, you know, all of Monday, good portion of Tuesday, moon's in Virgo. So this is like an empowering series for you to kind of consider and look at. Sun in Sagittarius, that's your fourth house, that's your tribe, that's where you seek your happiness. Mercury just moved into Sagittarius, that's in your fourth house. So a lot of times fourth house is also about memory. Because fourth house, let's look at this. This is home, but it's also foundational. It's ancestry. It's the DNA. And so once Mercury goes into that house, it starts picking up on history and things, you know. And you find somebody who's got Mercury in the fourth house, they're often like, don't you remember what happened when this happened and this happened and that happened? You know, super sharp memory can be stimulated by that fourth house placement of Mercury, and it's worth looking at right now. And then there's Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, all in the fifth house. It's like ultimate gurus, ultimate wisdom, ultimate teachers, transforming you into a more heart-opened person, and transforming your relationship with your children, if you have children. I mean, that's the stuff right there. Venus in the third house, you know, you become a more attractive, friendly neighbor, a friendlier sister or a friendlier brother in the family, friends, and you'll keep it moving. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. So, you know, Sagittarius time for Libra. That's the third house. Third house is the neighborhood. Third house is neighbors and friends. And it's also poetry and working with your hands and doing artwork, music, storytelling. Venus is in Scorpio in the tropical zodiac. And so you're manifesting, you want to eat sweets a lot. I mean, that's one of the horrible parts about Halloween through New Year's, is that there's just this plethora of, you know, decadent sweet treats and Christmas cookies and candy canes and chocolates and all kinds of other decadent goodies. You know, you're assaulted with Halloween, then you get another assault with Thanksgiving, and then, you know, for some of you there may even be Hanukkah festivities in between the Christmas, and you're just like you're wondering why, you know, your belt is suddenly 2 notches from where it was come September. I will tell you why. Sugar kills. Yeah, death by sugar for sure. But I'd say, you know, you're still working on relationship issues, and also your own inner happiness and where you're living. That's been a harder situation for you. I mean, now we do have Moon going into Libra on Tuesday at late afternoon, 4:01 p.m. So 4:01 p.m. Tuesday, we will have Moon in Libra, and you know, the rest of the forecast week should be all about you. You like that, don't you? No, because the next weekend after this weekend, we're going to be heading into some other pretty, you know, the rodeo. You know, it gets wild. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of wild, greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like this, you know. We'll talk Mars talk first. Sure, Mars is in Aries, so getting physically fit. You know, working on your health regime. Now, if you live in some of the northern climates, especially in the west where you have mountains to elevate, there's often snow. Cross-country skiing, it's probably next to swimming, best exercise anybody could ever do. I highly recommend it. Venus in the first house. You're hot and you know it. You know, that's what people, you know what I really hate about you, Scorpio? Is that you're hot and you know it. Oh, yeah. And I think sometimes secretiveness can come out of a nervousness that sometimes you betray your own self from other people seeing your beauty in that depth that you carry, in that depth of what you observe. So, I mean, I think a little bit of like opening up. Sagittarius time, you're making money, you know. You're dealing with family, you're dealing with resources. But you're okay with having a life of a little bit more luxury. I mean, you're maybe in an unusual relationship right now. That's okay. You know, you just kind of breathe through that. And I see, you know, you're understanding the mysteries. You know, next weekend, it's going to be a little bit more about you, a little bit, you know, at the end of the week anyhow. Once we get over towards next Friday, you know, it's going to be all about Scorpio, or even Thursday evening. By Thursday night this week, Moon goes into Scorpio. Well, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. You've got what it takes. You've got the information. You've got this kind of past life impetus right now with you. This extra sense about you. And you got to take care of stuff. You know, you're dealing with karma that runs a lot deeper than you. I mean, Venus in the 12th house, it's like getting enough sleep, the right kind of bed, enjoying quiet time. Now, in the second house, there's a lot of economic things you're still working out. You're working out economic stuff. You like the moon in Leo. That's been fun. I mean, you might even travel a little bit, take a little weekend road trip or something, go somewhere. I just like it when people say, go somewhere, what can you do? Everything's closed. No, everything is not closed, okay? I mean, there's many ways to get around. I mean, you could rent an RV for a weekend. There's all kinds of ways you can do stuff. You know, and if you're feeling more comfortable staying in place, that should be good too. We have nothing to be unhappy about except for our own unhappiness. You know, and maybe the upcoming Chinese-style assault on our civil liberties, but that's, you know, we don't want to talk about that yet. We're just happy the orange orangutan isn't around anymore. Oh well. Not necessarily. What I really like about the orange orangutan is a lot of his followers seem actually way smarter than him, and it's like that becomes even more mind-blowing, is that they have these undying loyalty to somebody who's actually a lot dumber and merciless and just kind of makes fun of handicapped people and stuff. It's like, okay, well, it's, you know, I don't know. That's just weird as F, but, you know, it's world couldn't get stranger. So, and Sagittarius, you know this. Mars is in a good place in Aries. You're having fun with your own energy, your own heart-opening stuff. I mean, you got to be careful. You got to use caution, you know. I mean, I'm almost thinking you're more likely to get a twisted ankle than you are to get coronavirus. So, I mean, that's the other part of this. You know, you just using caution. Jupiter in the second house. Be conservative. Don't just, like, go crazy. All right. Greetings, Capricorn. Welcome, welcome, welcome to your horoscope. So, this week for you, another week. You know, so the sun's in the 12th house, so it's like lay low. This is kind of a time of more like loss and decompression. I mean, it's also a really good time to sleep a little more and keep a dream journal and write what your dreams are telling you, because these things that'll come up in the dream journal are actually going to be rather informative. Now you got Jupiter, you got Pluto, you got Saturn, all in your first house, kind of all clustered together. One's transforming you, one's restricting you, and the other one is actually enlightening you and bringing you wealth. So all of these things are happening simultaneously. Next thing to look at is your own past life karma. Like some of the stuff that's happening to you is because of that. You know, you have a good social life. You got some good friends, and you also really want to create something that's exciting and entertaining for people somehow. That in your heart, you're wanting things to kind of move and be shaken up. So, isn't it like shake up or be shaken? I don't know. We'll go to Aquarius now, and greetings, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, even for you, even though it's like Sagittarius time is like, this is your social lifetime, this is your time to meet your friends, this is your time to be in more benefic relationships, especially with your elders, elder siblings, people that have a little more experience with you that can, you know, give you the keys of the kingdom. That's sort of what's supposed to be happening right now. But there's this other part that's like, stay home, don't do too much, relax, don't take anything on, and you're doing some of your best work. I mean, with Venus now in Scorpio, transiting your 10th house, you're showing a certain amount of grace and graciousness and a sweetness, and it makes the work environment move a little better. You know, you're being creative in the workplace. Mars in Aries is really good for you because actually Mars in the third house, it's what they call in Vedic astrology, it's the Karaka of the, it's a place where Mars really functions super well. Because one thing about the third house is it's also about courage and having courage. And so you're demonstrating a certain kind of courage. You still have a lot of karma you're going through. And next week Jupiter is going to enter in your first house. This is going to be an exciting change in the mix. Ooh. And I can't wait to share it with you. Let's go over to Pisces territory now as we're wrapping this thing up. Greetings Pisces, welcome to your horoscope. So I mean, Neptune in the first house gives really good compassion, and you know there was a lot of nice hits with Neptune, and Neptune and Venus have been trying each other, so there's this higher aesthetic of beauty, and so some of this better artwork can be worked out. I mean, social life is interesting. You know, sometimes you go out in the park, maybe walk, talk with somebody, maybe unmask if, you know, you feel safe and everything's good. You know, I think you have to get to a place where you're making your whole immune system healthy, which is partly, a lot of it's due to your own happiness. And so do things that make you happy, feel connected, and it's a lot of career stuff right now. It's a lot of you working out your karma with the public and how you're dealing with it. And I just noticed there's always more reasons to love. You know, every day I go out there and there's more things I can be grateful for. That what if these things were gone? Maybe you should stop and think about if these possessions that you think are no good, why aren't you giving them away? You know, and if they are no good, give them away. And if they are good and you're keeping them, have gratitude towards them. Like, share this video. Thanks for being here. Kozmic Kev, Planetary Persuader. I am out.
All right. All right, Kozmic Kev, Planetary Persuader. Happy New Year.